The second that you start chasing your buyers, you've already lost the sale. Most founders trying to scale their business don't realize it, but weak positioning is quietly killing their authority. And it's holding them back from consistent high-ticket growth. You know that feeling of constant chasing, stalled deals, buyers ghosting you? It's not random. So today I'll show you how to flip the frame and make buyers chase you instead. If you're closing some deals, but it still feels like you're chasing every prospect, if you're over-explaining your offer, or feeling like every deal is about convincing rather than converting, you're selling from a weak position, and that makes you needy. And when buyers sense that neediness, you lose control. They hold all of the power, not you. And to be completely frank, that will kill more deals for you than any dodgy leads, any poor offers, or any bad market conditions all combined. Over 15 years in sales, it's fair to say that I've seen a lot. And I can say with certainty that every founder I work with, scaling past say 50K a month, makes the same positioning shift. And by the end of this video, you'll have 3 psychological shifts that flip buyers from skeptical to sold. So they qualify themselves, chase your solution, and you control every conversation. And make sure you stick around for the third one because it's the most counterintuitive, but it's what separates the top 1% from everyone else. Most sellers think it will kill their deals, but it actually does the opposite, and it creates the strongest buyer pursuit that I've ever seen. So most founders and most sellers lose control of the sale before they've even said a word. Think about it in the context of dating. The moment someone seems desperate for your attention, what happens? You pull away. But the person who's genuinely outcome independent, who'd be fine either way, that's who you chase. So selling works exactly the same way. Neediness kills authority before you even pitch. So point 1 is outcome independence, or otherwise known as indifference, which is the foundation of elite positioning. You know, I'd like this to be a fit, but I don't really need it to be. If this person doesn't move forward, that's fine, but if they do, I know we'll deliver exceptional results for them. This is the mindset. It's how you project your authority and status. It's how you take complete control, and it's how you frame the call from the very first second. Because when you're emotionally detached from the outcome, your status rises. You stop chasing, you start evaluating, and that's where the magic happens. Because buyers sense that you have other options, and suddenly they want to become one of them, instead of them feeling like you desperately want to close them. So remember, the buyer needs your solution more than you need their money. And that's the shift in energy that we're after. That's what makes buyers chase you instead of the other way around. And just speaking of weak positioning, most sellers stay stuck chasing for months because they never fix it. That's why I created the sales positioning playbook for you. It's just simple tweaks that you can implement into your vocabulary straight away to get your buyers chasing you. So just grab it for free from the first link in the description. But even with outcome independence, most sellers still make this next mistake. They still manage to talk themselves out of deals by trying to convince their prospects to buy. But I'm here to tell you that elite closers do the exact opposite. So have you ever noticed how the best negotiators barely talk at all? They have one question and then silence. The other person fills the space, they reveal their hand, and they talk themselves into the deal. The reason is because we trust our own words more than anyone else's. When we say it, we believe it. So the second point of this video is how elite closers guide the buyer into selling themselves. And it's why I always say the quality of your questions is more important than the quality of your answers. So instead of pitching, start asking instead. So what made you want to fix this now then? And what happens if this stays broken for another 6 months? And tell me, what would solving this actually mean for you and for your business? The more that you can get them to articulate their pain, the deeper their emotional investment. Because now they're not hearing your pitch at all. They're simply just hearing their own reasons to buy. And here's why this works psychologically. When we hear ourselves say something, our brain treats it as truth. But when someone else tells us something, we tend to question it, especially within a sales environment. But when they can connect the dots themselves, it feels like their own idea. And people don't tend to argue with their own conclusion. So the second it feels like their decision, resistance drops completely. And that's how you stop selling and start leading. Because you're not chasing the deal. They're leaning into you. They're chasing that clarity, and ultimately they're walking themselves into your solution. But here's where it gets slightly counterintuitive, because perhaps the biggest lie average sellers believe is that keeping buyers comfortable closes deals. Look, the simple fact is too many people are afraid of any sort of confrontation, so they avoid it completely, even if it actually helps them. You've just got to look at any high stakes negotiation. Real authority doesn't just nod along. These guys set boundaries, they challenge assumptions, and they shift the control to themselves. It's the same situation with, say, doctors. Have you ever tried to self-diagnose yourself in front of them? When the expert pushes back, they correct you, and you respect them more for it because challenge signals expertise. So the third point of this video is that elite closers know that challenging buyers builds their status. So when a buyer says, I've seen this type of thing before and I know it just doesn't work, the average seller will panic. They'll try and convince and they'll really start to try and chase that deal. But make no mistake, the top 1%, they're really quite happy to tell them why they're wrong. Yeah, look, I understand what you're saying, but I'd really like to just challenge you on that perspective. So I can understand why you would think that, but let me explain to you why that's a common misconception. Or simply, maybe this isn't the right time for you. I think we should revisit this when this becomes a little bit more urgent for you. Those kind of challenges create respect. When you can push back in a professional manner like this, suddenly you're not chasing. You become the authority that they follow. Remember, buyers don't ever pursue the needy. They pursue the expert with very high standards. The one that might walk away if they think they need to. The one who filters who they work with because real authority isn't desperate for every single deal. So now you know how to flip the frame and create an environment where buyers chase you. But if you don't structure the whole conversation right, the sale still falls apart. The absolute cream of the crop in sales follow a proven system to control every single stage, from first question to final close, from hello to handshake. And I break it all down for you in this video here. It's the only closing framework you'll ever need to take full control of your sales calls.